Lesson 9 for February 20 to 26, To Serve and to Save, read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Friday, February 26. From the book Gospel Workers, page 117, Ellen White writes, In the work of soul-winning, great tact and wisdom are needed. The Saviour never suppressed the truth, but he uttered it always in love. In his dealings with others, he exercised the greatest tact. And he was always kind and thoughtful. He was never rude, never needlessly spoke a severe word, never gave unnecessary pain to a sensitive soul. He did not censor human weakness. He fearlessly denounced hypocrisy, unbelief, and iniquity, but tears were in his voice as he uttered his scathing rebukes. He never made truth cruel, but ever manifested a deep tenderness for humanity. Every soul was precious in his sight. He bore himself with divine dignity, yet he bowed with the tenderest compassion and regard to every member of the family of God. He saw it all, souls whom it was his mission to save. And that brings us to our 3 discussion questions for this week. 1. As a class, read over what Ellen White wrote above about how Christ ministered to others. Discuss the principles there, and then as a class, discuss how well your own church reflects those principles corporately. 2. Do you know a bruised reed or dimly burning wick, as we read in Isaiah 42:3? How can you help this person without breaking or quenching him or her? In what ways can you point such people to the Lord? In a practical sense, what would you tell them to do in order to get healing and help? And 3. The argument for different authors of Isaiah originated from the premise that people cannot tell the future the way Isaiah did. What is the fundamental problem with this argument, and why must we, as Christians, reject that premise outright? So to summarize this week's lesson, deliverance requires a deliverer. God's servant nation would be delivered by 2 deliverers, Cyrus, who would set the captives free from Babylonian exile, and an unnamed servant, whose identity as the Messiah is progressively revealed. This servant would restore justice and bring the community of survivors back to God. Inside Story. Our mission story this week is titled Garage Church, and it's by Andrew McChesney of Adventist Mission. 10-year-old Lewis moved with his parents to La Apatada, a town without a Seventh-day Adventist church in northern Colombia. Father and mother wanted Lewis to go to church on Sabbath. Lewis wanted to go to church, but the nearest Adventist church was located far away in another town. The district pastor had an idea. You should open a church, he said. Father liked the idea, mother liked the idea, Lewis liked the idea. But where could people meet to worship? Their house was too small for many visitors. Why don't we use our garage, Father said. It was a good idea. The garage was bigger than the house. Besides, it was empty because the family didn't own a car. Father told Lewis to invite his new friends from school to come to the garage on Tuesday for a 1-hour meeting. Come to my garage to hear something interesting and get some good food, Lewis told his friends. Surely, we'll come, they replied. 37 children between the ages of 5 and 14 showed up the next Tuesday. Lewis spoke to the children about the importance of keeping promises. He read from a church-created program about good values. Afterward, Mother gave the children arroz con leche, a dessert made with rice and milk. Lewis invited the children to return the next week. 65 children came. The garage was not big enough, so after 3 months, Father asked town authorities for a new place to meet. The mayor liked that Lewis was teaching good values to the many children. You can meet in the old town hall, he said. With so many children, Father decided to create Pathfinder and Adventurer clubs. The two clubs met in addition to Lewis's weekly meetings on good values. Father saw an abandoned building that looked like an even better place to meet and received permission from the mayor to move. The mayor also gave 1 million pesos to renovate the place. On a July morning, just 4 months after the group first met in the garage, 70 children and adults gathered in the renovated centre for the first Sabbath worship service. Lewis was happy. Most attendees were children he had invited. Today, 9 months after the garage first opened, 80 children and 20 adults worship in the centre every Sabbath. 38 people have been baptised. Lewis's town now has an Adventist church. "I'm very happy because I've learned many new things," Lewis said. "Most of all, I have learned that I can invite children to Jesus' feet." And there's a lovely photograph here on the left of the young Lewis.
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent-band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.